Another night on the ground. Not too bad with the space heater right by your face, but let's do this early day. All right, just spoke with the YHA Manchester contact person, and they kind of went over all the basic details with me. Sounds like I'd be mainly doing breakfast, and I would share a room with up to one other person if they do end up picking someone. He said he tries to match people that seem like they could get along, which I think is nice. And it just seemed like a friendly guy. And he said he could start earlier, like arriving on the 27th or 28th, which would be nice to just get to move on a little earlier, since I'll just take a few days during Christmas. I don't have to pay for my own spot, but might as well keep it going and give myself a little bit more time to be in the city, and then just go all the way until the end of January. And he sounded down with my mission of just exploring and doing things, and having this to fill in on my resume. So seems like a good person to work under. And just gonna go on a run here. The workday was long, but got stuff done. Wasn't too challenging as always, just like housekeeping stacked on top of hanging around for breakfast stuff. So nothing crazy, but just kind of a long day. But it's only 3 right now, so still gonna get a run in while we still have light, and hopefully I can stay on a path the whole time, because it has been very stormy, and I know it's gonna be muddy anywhere else. So hopefully it's not too bad. It's a little ridiculous how much this looks like the Pacific Northwest. Really laying it on thick here, especially with the ferns. The moss, come on. It's been a while since I've had deja vu, but I just had it watching a video about a guy interviewing other comics before they go on stage. And then, I don't know, something about love, but then also being in the Lake District, then being in this hostel, then bouncing around and being different areas. Very disorienting. I'm trying to figure out how I'm going to be able to get into an actual city here on Sunday, because the Connect bus doesn't run on that day. So I'm downloading Uber and seeing what the rate would be for that to have me be picked up. It does look like I could leave day early now and book that at the hostel. Looks like there's an opening. So if it seems like the Uber day is going to be as expensive or more than the day for the hostel, then might as well just leave a day earlier and book it through the Connect app thing. So, and they should be flexible with that here. I mean, if not, they can't stop me from leaving necessarily. So, gonna try and get that figured out tonight, because things are only gonna get more expensive from here. Here's the whole sleeping setup in action. Basically camping, just sleeping right next to a fire. It's 12 in the afternoon right now, and the power of the sleeping mask, and I went to bed a little past midnight, and definitely wasn't sleeping the whole time, but just lying down, being like, oh, okay, I think I have enough food to last the next couple of days here, and I can just try and journey over to the grocery on the day off, because we got nicer now, but
very windy and it was rainy earlier and just miserable weather to try and go 10 miles. So, yeah, I think I'll have enough food and I'll be fine, but took it hyper easy this morning.
Oh, the hair's getting crazy. Very different work day today. I got in and I don't know, didn't really like prep stuff. I guess I wrapped up some utensils with napkins, nothing crazy, and then just wait around for a little bit for things to get going. And then this dinner was just all F and I's, which is family and individuals, which I hadn't heard that. They've used the term here before, but I hadn't heard that at the other hostels. So it was all F and I's, which meant we didn't do like a big buffet thing, how we did for every other school group that I've done, but it was all just people coming up, placing an order, and then I put the order in on the point of sale system, which is the same as every other point of sale system, except I have to learn the menu. It's not a giant menu, but it took me a little bit to look at everybody's stuff. We made a few little minor errors along the way, but and when I say we, I mean I did, my boss, and then one of the kitchen staff messed something up. So we screwed up a few things, but nothing irreversible. And yeah, it was definitely more like a restaurant experience of people ordering at a counter and then bringing up the food to them and them having utensils. And then sometimes people would bust their own dishes, or we would go and get them for them just to keep them going. And then, we're just open for a certain amount of time for people to place orders. So not as much being able to like end early, because you just have to hang out the whole time, and just in case someone shows up and they want to place an order at the end. So not particularly hard in any way, just not super like in and out. So good, kind of get that experience. I wanted to, warm up a little bit into waiting. Again, something that I know I have the capabilities of doing, but not like, oh, this is my dream job to work in a restaurant. But it was a good sampler of that. And then for the desserts, we actually do those instead of the chefs, which is really just getting stuff out of the fridge, putting it on a plate, microwaving it if it's like a tart or something, and then scooping some ice cream and drizzling stuff on it. There's like instruction sheets on how to do those. So again, nothing challenging, but not really what I was anticipating on doing, but it was good to kind of mix it up and do something. Yeah, nothing crazy. It was a pretty slow night, all things considered, maybe like 8 or 10 tables total. So kept it pretty low key. Just kind of been eating my leftover rice with salt or hot sauce or whatever extra stuff, and then having apples with peanut butter. Definitely think my food can last until Tuesday, and I hadn't even looked on the forecast, but I'm just gonna grind it out and do a long trek over there. Confirmed my Manchester stay for the 27th, so on that day I will go and pop over there. So yeah, I just need to schedule something for a little Christmas time in between, and I'll be on my merry way. So I think we're looking good here for the rest of the month. Obviously the journaling hasn't been done yet, something that I've been putting off doing since coming here, but I'll get there. No other major updates, nothing super exciting. It's been pretty crummy weather still, and the lack of definitive trails and wanting to go outside is not very high. But I do want to try and explore while I can still. I got my long walk in to go get groceries on that Tuesday, but yeah, I'll just be working otherwise, and sounds like I'm doing a good enough job here, at least as a volunteer. So I'm happy, and yeah, no other complaints. It's just kind of going day by day. I did speak to another woman here and had a good conversation with her. spoke with her about like places we've traveled and stuff like that. And I remember at a previous job, I would speak to people about like, oh, what's your favorite place to travel? And I felt like some people were embarrassed by not having traveled to that many places, which, you know, I can understand being like, oh, you're speaking about places outside of the country, and they're just speaking about like towns they've visited to near their hometown, which I think is great. Any amount that you can travel is wonderful. The whole world is worth seeing, and I think I got to be on the other side of that a little bit. She's like, oh yeah, I went to Syria and that was crazy, and in India, and I was like, oh dang, well, you know, I've just been to European or Commonwealth areas. So, you know, I got not big shocked there, but good to see the other side or get re-humbled a little bit. But also, you know, don't be afraid or embarrassed to speak about places that aren't like big name countries or, you know, anything super crazy. Like, be happy and celebrate the things that you've done. But good to always see the perspective on the other side too. So, yeah, nothing too crazy. Wish I could record more of like actual stuff I'm doing here, but actually it's a little bit more challenging during work. But yeah, that's where we're at.